Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic, who is a cynic. Hope we're doing well. And today, while I wait for the box office numbers to update for Joker and a couple other films, really all we are waiting on at this point is Maleficent, because as I mentioned in previous videos, for some reason, Disney decides to make you wait an extra hour or two before they release their numbers, probably for a wide variety of reasons. However, we are still waiting nonetheless. It's still looking like a very strong weekend for Joker. However, just to give you a little preview of the box office breakdown that'll be over on the Geeks and Gamers channel, the movie is now up to $768 million. That is, of course, without the additions of the foreign totals at this point in time, with the actual film making another $18.9 million domestically, which is a 35% drop. That's a very, very, very good drop. It is indicating that this film has a lot of legs, especially with Halloween coming up. It's probably going to keep on making money. So, with that in the rear view mirror, I just wanted to make a quick comment about yesterday's video, where for some reason a lot of people got pretty salty with me and were claiming that I was saying things that I wasn't saying. Were asking questions and saying, "Oh, I gotcha," by bringing up points that I actually address later in the video, which shows me that a lot of people that disliked it because they didn't like the title, because apparently facts just don't care about your feelings, and someone's feelings got hurt because I pointed out just simple facts that there is no actual hard evidence yet that any movie tickets have been purchased by Disney. Am I saying that it hasn't happened? No. Am I saying that it's not a possibility? No. I'm just saying that there's no evidence yet. And until there's evidence, I don't think that you should be talking about it. But again, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. I would just try and say, don't try and pretend that you have facts and data when you actually don't. Again, if you're just speculating and you're saying this is speculation, hey, no problem at all. You do whatever it is that you want to do. But you're not entitled to your own facts. Anyway, getting into today's video, the rumor that has been going around for the last couple of days is that Warner Brothers is considering a live-action Batman Beyond movie starring Michael Keaton. Now, I will just, full disclosure, I've actually never watched all of Batman Beyond. I've only ever seen a couple episodes, and I just never really got into it because I was more of the classic Batman fan. I loved Batman, the animated series, and by the time this show came out, the animation just looked too new. It just didn't really feel like the old school animation, and so I was just like, nah, I just don't feel it. There was just something too new about it that just never got me on board with it. But let's go ahead and see where this is coming from. And unfortunately, I do love my boys over at Bound Into Comics, and I always love that they make it clear saying this is indeed rumor territory. However, the main source that they are using for this is We Got This Covered. I guess always got to make a point saying We Got This Covered is a garbage organization. They are garbage news. They are basically clickbait. They put out random headlines. Sometimes they turn out to be true. Sometimes, and most of the time, they turn out not to be true. They basically just take what is ever being talked about in Hollywood, what is being the most discussed topic, and say, oh, that means that it must be true, or that means it must be a rumor, or our sources confirm that it's being talked about, and most of the time it turns out not to be true. And then they'll try and say, oh, we see that one time that we were correct, and they'll try and just cover up everything else. But We Got This Covered is not a reliable organization. But I will say this much. I think that Batman Beyond is a series that a lot of people would probably want to see brought onto the big screen, especially if you're able to bring in someone like a Michael Keaton to play the role of Bruce Wayne. Because for those that don't know anything about Batman Beyond tells a story of a much older Bruce Wayne and how he now takes on someone new. He now takes on someone else to take up the Batman mantle, but it's also a little bit different. It's set in this, future. It's set in this future. It is also set where the technology that Batman has developed has become a lot more sophisticated, with even like bat bots, like bat robots, Batman robots, to basically do his work for him. But it's determined that you need to have someone in the actual suit to do it, and so they have this whole new suit. They have this whole new interpretation of it, and it's actually very well done as far as the overall thought process for the actual series, for the basic premise of the series itself. Again, the premise of the series is pretty good. I just was never really getting on board because of the animation and because of even just the intro music was just too new and modern for me. And again, that's a subjective nitpick on my part, and I will be the first person to admit that. But Michael Keaton has definitely been an iconic name in the Batman universe for a very long time. Many people would say Christian Bale is now the iconic Batman. Some might even say that Kevin Conroy, the voice of the original Batman from the original series, is the iconic Batman. But for me, I grew up with the live action stuff, and so Michael Keaton has always been up there with names. And if you're talking about someone that could play this role the best, I think that not only could you pull someone like a Michael Keaton to act this part very well, but also it would create a sense of continuity among the Batman films also, saying, yeah, Batman 1989 is indeed still a legitimate film. It is still part of the canon, and we are going to continue that on with this new iteration of the character, with now bringing in the younger person as well. And again, I still forget the name of the younger person because I was never really big into the actual series itself. But this news came out, this rumor came out. It is being only really brought about by We Got This Covered, which means you have to take it with a gigantic grain of salt. But it would make sense to me that they would do this. Again, this is pure speculation on my part, that they are seeing the success of movies like Joker and that they might say to themselves, hey, maybe we can try and bring some other one-shot films. Obviously, they're probably going to want to create some franchise films too, and you could definitely do that with Batman Beyond. You could definitely do a trilogy, a standalone trilogy, though, of course, in the day of modern cinema, it seems that you can't even do that anymore. It's got to be in a gigantic universe where there's thousands of films that are all connected together by one singular thread. But either way, if they were to do a live-action one-off or a live-action trilogy, standalone trilogy, I think that that would be a very cool way of bringing it into the Batman universe. I think that fans of Batman Beyond and of the original 1989 Batman would also look at this and say, hey, this sounds like a damn good time. This is going to bring back Michael Keaton, one of our favorite Batmans, onto the big screen, and also just a solid actor to boot, and to be able to bring in a new character, to bring in someone new into the lexicon of live-action movies, and to do so in a way that hopefully will actually bring about a new iteration of the character, and potentially you could take that character and bring it into some other movies. If you really wanted to have a connected universe, you could definitely bring that character in, while also having Michael Keaton stay on in the background as being kind of the brains behind the operation. Because if there's anything that we know about Bruce Wayne, it wasn't that he was the strongest, it wasn't that he had the best technology, it was that he was always going to be the smartest person in the room. We always know that Bruce Wayne is one of the smartest characters, is one of the smartest persons, which is why he's able to go toe-to-toe with people like Superman, go toe-to-toe with people that are obviously stronger than he is, but it's because he can outplan them and outthink them. If you were to keep Michael Keaton's character on, not just in a standalone film, but to bring him into the broader DCEU with Wonder Woman and all the others, you could have him stay on as being that character that is basically, staying at the Hall of Justice or something to that effect, basically feeding them information, kind of being the brains behind the operation. And I think that could actually be a really cool thing to see. Now, whether or not they'll deliver it or not very well, I have a lot of doubts, because when it comes to the bigger budget films from DC, they've had a lot of misses, some successes with Aquaman, but even that one, I think, is, for me at least, in the C level. And then, of course, you have films that are much better like Shazam and also Wonder Woman. However, Wonder Woman has its flaws, and even Shazam is a much lower budget film and didn't really get a whole lot of box office recognition for that character, which really raises questions about whether a sequel is going to be justified if they want to continue on in that, in that big universe way. I mean, it made money, but it was not the huge juggernaut that I think they were hoping that it was going to be. But anyway, what are y'all's thoughts about this? Do you think that we are going to get a Batman Beyond live action series? And if we do you think that Michael Keaton will be the one to partake in it? I know that a lot of this is coming around because of all the news surrounding this new episode on the CW, Crisis on Infinite Earths, this gigantic event that's going to be happening in the CW shows, where you're going to have people coming in to play iterations of their former characters, people like Superman, people like Batman. There's already a trailer that shows Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, a picture of him in the background. I doubt he'll actually be a part of the episodes, but the fact that they're even referencing him is also a huge deal. So they're obviously members over at the DC Universe, members of Warner Brothers, that are looking at all of these things and saying, okay, maybe we can start piecing together our own universe. Even if we have independent films, they can still be connected to a broader universe, and it can still work within the context of it. Be interesting to see them play this out, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this stuff and all those things we talked about in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash that like button, give me a subscribe, it helps me a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Also, hopefully you stayed all the way to the very end before making your opinion and disliking a video, because there are many people that I know that disliked it because simply the title they didn't like, even though it was just based on facts. But sorry about that. This was all pure speculation, and I fully admit that it's pure speculation at this point in time, and I know that a lot of the other people that have covered the box office news in the previous iterations of the last video that I talked about yesterday were also speculating. However, it was definitely being portrayed and played up by a lot of people that support them, their supporters at the very least, as being actual fact, which we don't really have at this point in time. This is speculation. This is We Got This Covered, and by way of Bounding Into Comics, which is a great site, Bounding Into Comics, because they always make it clear whether it's rumor or not before covering the material, which is something that I think that me and others could definitely learn from. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.